Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. Back for another week. Things are going to get a little bit shaken up and stuff over the next couple of weeks. Today we're looking at GoDaddy Studio. Hello. I hope you are doing well. If you are watching over on Facebook, well, thank you for doing so. That's really kind of you. You can always come over here to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/JadeStarr to watch the show daily and join people in the chat. There it is there. You can always like, subscribe and all that jazz if you like as well. There's never any pressure or anything like that. You can always watch the show on Twitch at twitch.tv/howtoapp on iOS. Plus, you can always watch the show in the browser at howtoaponios.com. It's streamed there daily and you can interact from there as well. We're going to be talking a little bit about the website today because of the app that we're looking at. It's the company behind this app is where I host my website as well, funnily enough. But let's say hello to people in the chat, because you are the most important people of the show. You are the stars of the show at the end of the day. Hello to Kim Harden Hudson. Cy effin', always effin', good to effin' see you. Russ 8889, hello to you, my friend. Thomas Gillane, hello, my friend. Adam Burst Music, good to see you. Hello, Ivan Idea with a love heart. Hello, Ivan. I hope you're doing well. Auntie G, I hope you're doing well too. I really hope everybody's doing well. You know, Brad Example, always good to see you. I hope your microdosing is doing well. Ladies and gentlemen, Brad is microdosing. What a legend. And he's got a new iPad as well, which is all set up and happy to go. So expect some really cool music out of Brad over the coming weeks. And that's the most important thing, what you guys are making. What you're all creating. That's always the most important thing. Hello, Hambo Hounslow. Hello, Dave Fox. Thank you for popping in here. So let's have a quick look, a quick gander at if there's any price drops. I had a sneak peek. I know there aren't many. As I've said before, I think for the rest of the year, the app cycle for music especially is going to start slowing down because people are going back to work. Everything's opening up and people just... That's it. YouTube views are down, all that kind of stuff, because people are going back to life. And that's a great thing. We want to get the world back going, but you know what? We want to keep people creating as well. Because during the pandemic, it was an explosion of people creating stuff. But we want to keep that momentum going and be able to help. That's one of the things on this show, too, is helping with time management and doing like the Wart series on depression and these kind of things that affect us to help us still create music and balance life and stuff. But getting off track, Evolver FX by Four Pockets, $9.99 down to $7.99. There you go. Drum Surgeon, $5.99, a buck off for $4.99. So still a saving if you haven't grabbed that in the past. Voice DC30 by Nembrini is half price, $20 down to $10. And pretty much if you watch the show from last week, everything here is still price dropped. Now, I need to point out, if you've been thinking about the Swarm instruments, remember all the Swarm instruments, I do believe, are still on sale until August 20. So, you know, they're all half price at the moment, down to $20. So if you have been considering those, just be aware they are on sale. They probably will go on sale again towards the end of the year. It's normally 3 or 4 times a year they drop, it seems. And Swarm have probably got a new set of instruments coming out towards the end of this year as well, which will be woodwind from all accounts. So if you're waiting for a saxophone and some woodwind instruments, they are coming. Happy days. Before we jump in, speaking of community, because that's where this show is being refocused on community, it is one of the most important things, because without you guys, I wouldn't exist, would I? I'm back. So let's just shine the spotlight. Cy, who's here in our chat. I've had him on the show talking about his music. did you know that he's making videos like this as well? So Sai has jumped into the field of making tutorials. So if you haven't already, head over and subscribe, because Sai's a fantastic artist. He's a really awesome guy as well, really nice guy, great friend. And his latest video was a little short video, 6-minute video on how to import audio clips from WebSDR. So here's another person making little videos to help you get the best out of your music. So head over and subscribe. Thanks, Sai, for all you do. Alrighty, let's talk about today's app, because it's not music. And you know what? It doesn't always have to be about music, because there's a lot more to do with the music that we make that is important. And as you've seen last week, I was focusing a fair bit on the LumaFusion stuff, which this week again, there's another LumaFusion video, which is going to be on how to make a lyric music video, because it's a thing that I see lots of people wanting to do. But sometimes we overlook the other things that we need to, once we've made our songs, which we've made our albums and all this kind of stuff. What about the small things like social media banners? Right? What about the things like when you go to your YouTube page, like when we go back to Sai's page here, this little section up here, this little Beyond the Light section. How do we make these? Because they're all different sizes. Facebook has them. Facebook has banners. Instagram has banners. Snapchat has banners. These are all things that we use as tools to help our music reach out to people. Hello also to Brian. Welcome to the stream. Is there anybody else that I did see who popped in that I've missed? My glasses are terrible. I don't think so, but I will always double back. No problem, Sai, as well. So these banners and the presentation of the music that we make to want to get people out there to have a look at what we're doing, this is important stuff, and it's easy to do, really simple. And the app that I'm going to talk about today makes it really easy. Okay, and I'll explain why just after I give a shout out to my friend Russ, who is here in the chat, because if you didn't catch my show the other day, well, it was on the Patreon only. Have a look what I got in the mail. I got a t-shirt from Russ for his band, the Delicate Giants. How cool is that, schnizzle? And not only that, I'm so lucky, I got sent a Delicate Giants coffee cup, man. Right? Sorry, Pete Johns, your coffee cup is in the bin. In the bin at the moment. So I don't know if Russ is selling this merch or you can get it. Hopefully it is available in the future. But Russ 8889, his music, The Delicate Giants, is awesome stuff. And his merch is awesome too. And I thank you so much, Russ, for that. And it ties into promotion, because with the app I'm going to show you today, not only can you make your banners and stuff for Facebook and YouTube and all this kind of stuff, you can make your album covers in there as well. You can also make t-shirt designs, all this kind of stuff, and it makes it super easy. So this app that we're looking at was formerly called Over Graphic Studio, it was. And if you go back to my first show, this was the app I first looked at on episode 1 of How to App on iOS back in June last year. And the show was about how to make an album cover. And in 20 minutes, I made an album cover with a whole pile of body parts piled up. I made a death metal cover with all hands and body parts and stuff like that. God, the coffee tastes so much better in Russ's cup, yeah? So, but there's a lot more to Over, and let's just give you a little rundown. So, Over has changed its name to GoDaddy Studio. It was purchased by GoDaddy, who are synonymous for their web design pages, so you can go and make your website. My website is through GoDaddy as well. Here is my website here. If I go back to the home page. So this is my website, and I make this all through GoDaddy. So with all my music, all my videos, the how to app section on the end. So what's really good about now how Over has been bought by GoDaddy, it ties into the way I work really well, because any imagery I make now in this app, it automatically goes to my GoDaddy account and I can just add it to my website. So it's super cool. We'll go into that a little bit further. So hopefully you haven't lost sound. I think there's still sound. We're all good. Yep, everyone else has got sound. It's just you, Kim. You probably can't even hear me. What am I doing? All right, so GoDaddy Studio. And let me just say, you know when a company normally buys a really good app and you think, oh shit, there goes my favorite app. This is going to suck. Well, thank God GoDaddy came in, they bought this app and they barely changed it. All they really added was the functionality to link it up to your GoDaddy website. That's all they added. Everything else is exactly the same. Hello to Andy, who's joined us as well. Good to see you, Andy. Anyone else who I've missed? I'm trying to make sure I get everybody. So this app is free off the bat, yeah? So it is free. You can download it right now. Not all the functionality is there, but there's enough to absolutely 100% get started. 100%. It is a subscription, right? I hear you say. Now, I've been subscribed to this app for about 4 years. And I definitely get my value for it because I use it every freaking day to make all my banners, all my album art, all of everything, all the thumbnails for my show. Virtually everything I make, I use in Over, yeah? So the subscription, now these are the prices at Australian, remember? So you've got to drop it down a bit. So $14.99 a month. I think it's $13.99 a month Australian. So it works out to be about $10 a month. Or I think it's, it says here $149 Australian. It works out to be, I think it's $80 a month, a year US. But you get your value at it if you're using it, yeah? So it is free at least for you to check it out and have a look and play with it. And you get, nearly all the functionality is there, except for like custom fonts and some templates and stuff like that. So, but we'll go into it now. So go and grab it. The link's in the description. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, we'll open it up and I'll show you how I use it every single freaking day. Boom. So when you first open it up, you're given this screen here. This is their Discover page. And you see this with a lot of companies, you know, like they have designers who have little things, how to brush up your social posts. So they've got tips and tricks and stuff like that, how to grab attention with notification reminders, how Over now works with Daddy Studio, how to use templates, 4th of July things. So there's always new things that are in this section, this Discover section at the start. Not necessary, you don't need to look at this stuff, but hey, you want to get some ideas, you can click on one of these, and much like an Apple app, you've got a whole lot of design ideas, how to create a collage, things like that. So it's good for ideas, definitely good for ideas. Not something I use. The next tab is templates. Now, a lot of these, you do get a few of these in the free version, but to get the whole lot of them, you've got to subscribe, right? To really get the most out of all this stuff. And if I go back to the start here, you'll notice across the top, you've got Instagram stories, video, Facebook posts, Pinterest, flyers and posters, logos, promotions, banner ads, business cards. They've got a hell of a lot of stuff in here. A Facebook cover, wallpapers, birthday cards. There's heaps of stuff, and you can click on any of them. If you just want to kick off and get an idea, open up one of these and you're automatically opened up into here's a project that you can go in and change and manipulate, add your own backgrounds. And now this thing kind of works like, I like to call it Facebook, Facebook. I like to call this like Photoshop very, very light. Why I say that is it has a functionality that makes why people use Photoshop, you know, so much why people use Photoshop. And it has up the top here what we call layers. So when I click up the top, you can see all of the layers that are in this photo, in this image here. And I can click on each one of these, and you'll see now that I've clicked on this section, it's actually got a little section around it. I can go back up here and I can click on this image, and now you can see we've got a line around this image. And once I'm in here, I've got all these options down the bottom to show me all these options that I can manipulate this particular part of the image. So we're on this photo here of the sink. So you'll see the first section down here is called filters, and you can see all these filters as I move across the filters here, you can see the photo changing. So you've got black and white, and just it's your usual filter stuff that you see with, like, you know, Snapchat or anything like that. And exactly, Andy, can't emphasize enough how important it is to get your brand and keep it uniform. And this is fantastic for this, because once you've got your brand and your logo that you make in here, you just use it across everything. And once everything looks uniform, man, people actually do pay attention to your music. It's one thing to put out your music, but if somebody goes to a website and one page is like blue and black and the next one's like orange and there's no uniformity, that's not even a word, but who cares? It is now uniformity, right? It doesn't draw people in. Hello, Joe. Happy birthday to Joe Synth Widow, who's joined us today. It's Joe's birthday. Everybody say hello to Joe, or I'll come after you and cut your legs off. Right. So this is the first section we've got here. There's filters. And if I go across to the next section, you've got a toolbar down along the bottom here. So I can scroll along this toolbar, and it gives me a whole lot of different things I can now do to this photo, yeah? Let's open up something a little bit more interesting than one of these templates, right? So we'll just close this, disregard the changes. I don't really want this. Let's get out of here. So you've got your templates page here, you've got a little plus in the middle. So this plus, I don't think I need to explain that to you. You know what that means, a big plus. It means make something new, yeah? So that's nice and big. It's up front. Make something new. The third thing along here is called Teams. Now, this is what's cool. If you do subscribe to this for the $10 a month, yeah, when you click on Teams, this is cool because it is a collaboration section. So if you know somebody else who's got over, you can actually create images and collaborate back and forward to each other and keep a project open. Super cool. Like if you're in a band and you're working on like a virtual band, say you're working on an album cover, and you send something to somebody, hey, I've got an idea with this, can you kick it off? Somebody adds something else to it. Really, really cool to create a team, and it's super easy. Just create the team, put in the person's email address, and you're off. But we're not going to get into that. We want to get into some projects, yeah? And this is my projects page. And as I said, I've been using this for 4 years. 4 freaking years, man. Probably even a little bit longer. And if I scroll through all of my projects, and some of them you'll see they not appearing because there's a lot of, if I scroll, there's a lot of projects. And you can see in here I've got little logos. Sometimes just, let's scroll back to the top. So logos, you can see all my thumbnails here I do for the show. There's my Kindercore album cover that I did recently. Even like when I do my interviews on this show, you see the little screens here that you see people's faces in during the interview. This is how I make them. So if I click on one of these, there's my template for how to app interview. And you can see there's Jamie Mallender and me. And each show that I do, I just come into this template, click on the name here, and change the name, and then save the template. And you can see behind this image, you can see these squares behind here, like a grid. That's because I've cut out these windows. So that's a transparency, yeah? So if you know anything about making graphics or anything, so now when I put this into OBS, I can then put a camera, I can put the images of the cameras behind these little squares. So these are how I make my whole show. Everything's in here. There's my Desir logo for me and Kev's band Desir. Here's a banner for Russ's Behind the Song. You can see we've got a little DistroKid logo. This is where I make everything because it's just so easy to make stuff, yeah? Even to, like, there's a Pete's head. We've got Pete John's head just sitting there, floating head. There's even Doug's t-shirt. So Doug's t-shirt line, he sent me an image so if I could remove the background to go on his t-shirt. And you can see here I've taken away all the background on this so it's transparent, and then I've saved this and sent it to Doug, and this is what you see on Doug's t-shirt. I didn't draw this image. but I was able to remove the background to send this back to Doug for his merchandise. So there's a hell of a lot of things you can do with this app, and the beautiful thing is it's really, really easy. It's not like Photoshop where it can get, very overwhelming. There's so many things, so many layers and stuff. You can see everything's in here. Pete Johns' Murdering Time. This is how I made Pete Johns' Murdering Time album cover. So really cool. Heaps of stuff in here. It's what I use for everything. So I'm going to show you. We'll start off by, as the name says, I want to talk about first creating banners for your YouTube channel, for your Facebook channel, for your Instagram, because as I said, I'm going to say it over and over on this show, uniformity, it's not a word, is important. To create your logo, to decide on the colors that you're going to have around your project, whatever it is, around your creativity, your band, your website, whatever it is important, and they all should match, because it works. It keeps people coming back. It keeps people engaged. It helps people's brains understand what they're seeing. It all makes sense, and so it is very important. So to create a new project and start from scratch, to show you how to do this, again, you can either hit the plus in the middle down here, or you've got a big plus up here. Yeah, so we'll hit this one, and you're presented with a whole bunch of options. So you get some layout collections to look at. Yeah, so you got a whole lot of collections. You got a whole lot of ideas here, that suggested ideas for layouts, if you like. Across the top, here's the important stuff for building stuff from scratch, because that's the most important thing, to build your brand. You can insert an image, right? So you can start with an image. You can even import video into this and make little video images as well. So that's cool. Or you can start with a transparent background, a white or a black background. For today, I'm going to be starting with transparent backgrounds. Now, we'll click on that, and here's the next section you're given, and here's where it makes life really easy, because if you've ever gone to make a YouTube banner and a Facebook banner or anything like that, it's like, what are the fucking dimensions? It's really hard to find what the dimensions are. Normally, what I would do is you just type in Google dimensions for YouTube cover banner or something like that, and you can find them that way. But what Over does, in this little section here, you'll notice down the bottom, if I scroll along the bottom here, you should be able to see each little suggestion here has a logo in it telling you what each thing is. So this is Instagram. We have an Instagram square. We have an Instagram long for a story. We have an Instagram portrait. We have an Instagram landscape. Then we move to Facebook. You can see the little Facebook logo there that we all love to hate. You've got a square Facebook image, a post. So this is for a standard post, a story, Facebook story. Then you've got a Facebook cover. So this would be for a personal page. And you'll see the difference next to this. If I move to the next one, a Facebook ad. Now you see there's slightly different sizes. It baffles me why they make them these slightly different sizes on Facebook for uniformity, because that would make more sense. But what's good about Over, it has these slight differences. And then if we move again, so this is an ad compared to a cover. And this last one, event cover. So they're all really different to give you, so you know what you're doing, yeah? And then we've got just basic sizes. So a square for an album cover, perhaps. Here you go, you got a square. You've got a portrait. You've got a 3x2 mid-width. You've got a 9x16. You've got your typical 16x9, which is like a YouTube thumbnail. A 3.3x1. You've got a 2:1. Then we've got a Pinterest. Again, you can see the logo down here. Pinterest. A Twitter post. You've got a Twitter cover, which is absolutely perfect. Now, this Twitter cover will be universal across the app and on the browser. So fantastic. But now here's the good stuff. We've got a YouTube channel cover, and we've got a YouTube thumbnail. Very important stuff, because nobody knows what the size these things are. So we'll just go along. So you've got a what's this one? That's Snapchat. You've got Etsy, you've got Google ones. So there's a whole lot of templates all ready for you just to kick off, and you don't have to fucking think about it. And that's the most important thing. You don't want to spend time thinking about this stuff. You want to spend time designing what your banner. So we're going to kick off and do a YouTube channel cover. So we're going to click on that's set, and you can see here, there's the dimensions for your YouTube channel cover. So you're good to go. All you need to do is select, tick, and here we go. We're ready to start painting whatever the fuck we want on here. So I want to go with a black background. All right. I just want a simple black background for this banner cover. This is where it gets cool. So along the bottom here, you've got images. So if you want to import images, you've got text, you've got graphics and shapes and videos. So because I want to make I want to color this in, shapes is what you want. So when you click a shape, you get all these cool shapes. And clearly I'm going to want to go for a rectangle to kind of sort of fit in here. And I've either got an outline of a rectangle or a square, a filled in rectangle. Let's choose the filled in one. There's my black background. All I need to do now is just pinch, and that is now filling. I can pinch in, I can spin this around, fill it in. There's my background. Now, like the complexity of Photoshop, whenever you add something, it creates a layer. And these are the important things. This is what makes, this is how you can build such great stuff. Up the top here is where all of your layers go. So when you select here, you can now see the base of a transparent rectangle and now a black rectangle. So the way it works, anything that you add, as long as it's in front, it'll be at the front of your image. Yeah. So because this is in front of this, it takes up the image. Hope you're all following. I'm trying to keep this as kind of basic as possible if people don't have understanding of, graphic design or anything like that. Trying to keep it simple. I want to change the color of this. Now I've decided that black sucks. So along the bottom here, you have your tools and you can see color. If I click on here, it brings up a selection of colors. You get a color wheel and black and white. I can select this color wheel and decide any color I want. I can move this around and decide, I like that color. I'm going to hit the check mark and it saves your color into this palette. So now that's cool. You know what? I don't like that color. I'm going to hit this again. And let's move this here. You've even got things like to change the lightness of it, bring it more white, the darkness. So you've got all these little options here. So we'll just go with that. Hit the little check. And what's really cool too is you've got the actual, what do they call the code of this? I can't think of the word. It's just gone from my brain. The color code. We'll just call it the color code. Keep it simple. You can actually even click on this and type in the actual code of that color, which you can do a Google search at any time. Just open up Google. Let's just do it now just to show you how easy it and go red. God, I can't even think of what it's called now. Is it RGB code HTML? I don't know. I can't. There we go. So that was enough. So red is FF and 4 zeros. So now I can go back to my project and just delete all these and go FF000 and hit the tick. And there's my red hex code. Thank you, Thomas. It was on the tip of my tongue. And when I hit the little tick button, that color gets saved as well. Yeah. So you can keep adding colors like that. When you pay for a subscription, you get the added bonus of being able to go over here to the side and saving your palettes that you make so you can go back to later. Unfortunately, you don't get to do that on the free version. It's another thing there. You can actually go in and add, let's get back to the bottom here. You can actually add a border to this. So down the bottom, I can click a border and choose the width. And you can, if I bring this in, see how that's got a border now? So you can go in and do that. You can change the color of the border. So you can do that kind of stuff. You can change the size this way as well if you want to be more precise, just by moving with your finger, or as you can see here, I'm moving with my finger. Or you can pinch to bring things in. So really cool. You can add shadows. We'll go into that a little bit later. You can change the opacity. Yeah. So if you've got layers and you want to see another color underneath or another image underneath, you can rotate this thing. So you can spin it around. Woo. You can go left to right, up and down. So you've got little buttons here. You can get right in close and nudge things. So you see you've got these little arrows here and you can nudge it. Let me just show you. Let me just do this. So if I go to nudge, I can hit these little arrows and just slightly nudge it up a little bit. So you've got a whole heap of options in here. You've got masking and blending. So if I want to remove some of this, I can actually just remove some of it and maybe just leave a circle. Then I can delete the rest. And now you'll see I'm left with a really bad circle. Just drawing that with my finger. Da, 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 da. And now I've got a circle. As easy as that. And if I want to put the circle back, I can just go over here and put it all back. And just draw it all back in. So it's really cool if you've got a photo of somebody, you want to remove somebody out the background, you want to remove the entire background of the photo. And I'm trying to rush through this. Plus you also have a blend button, which I'll show you a little bit more of. But we're making a banner. So let's go back and change the entire color of this thing to black. We'll take off that border. Let's get rid of that border. We want it off. And as you can see, I've removed all that. So I need to put this back. Let's put all this masking back. That's me being a dick. And we'll make sure this is 100% cool. Yeah, good to go. All right, so we've got our black background. Now we need to add something to it. Yeah, we want to add something to it. So we can add text. How do we add text? Well, I'm glad you asked. You've got a little text button down the bottom here. Super simple. Write what you want. We'll just call this... just going to call it DreadCircus because it's my DreadCircus YouTube channel. Circus. Hit the little tick and there's your writing. You can now move this around wherever you want. You can make it larger by pinching. You can change the font down the bottom here. You have a whole lot of fonts and I can just scroll through these and choose a font that I want to be my branding, yeah? So we'll go with something like that for now. You can place this wherever you want. Again, you can scroll along the bottom. You've got things like text style options. So you can actually align it center, left, right, all that kind of thing. You can actually even change the spacing. So you can see left, I've got it's selected as this little section here is like the A with the arrows going this way. So if I can actually stretch the spacing out between my letters, if I want to bring them a bit closer together, or I can change it to up and down if I've got multiple lines of text and I want to bring it closer together. You can change it to all caps. You can change it to caps less. You can change it to all caps or just caps at the beginning. So you've got a whole lot of features here. You can even do things like curving the text and bending it around if you wanted to make a... So there's not too many features here, but there's enough to really create something interesting to kick off. We want to change the color straight away. That's enough for now. But I want to make it a little bit fancier than this too, because it just looks a bit standard sitting there. Well, along here you have shadow. And once you, along the bottom here, once you click this little button that says angle, it adds shadow. And you can see straight away, we've got a shadow up there just that's been attached to the image. And I can change the color of that shadow to whatever I want. I can change it to a white shadow. And these little settings down the bottom, see, they're quite small. I can change the opacity of that shadow. We can make it very white or just a little bit. We can go in here and change the angles. So you'll see now these little arrows have popped up. Hey, what's going on, Jim? And now I can just touch these arrows and you'll see, and we'll go up a bit just so you can see my hands doing this. You can see I'm bringing this shadow up a bit behind the text to create something like that. And if you don't like that, you've even got a little blur tool. So I can blur this now to make it kind of 3D, to make it pop up. You can change the angle of it. So we'll leave that there like that for now. We'll turn down the opacity a little bit, make it a bit more grey. So there you go. It's only a little thing that I did, but it just pops off the page a little bit, yeah? And this is for our YouTube thumbnail, remembering if we, whoops. This is the full image is this whole square. So we want to make this a little bit bigger. Now I need an image, don't I? I need something to add in there. So let's throw in an image. Let's add something along here. Down the bottom, we've got this little image button. And this is what's really cool. With the free version, you can add any image that's in your photos. You can go to your Files app by hitting More. And you can choose from your Files app. So you can import any photo you like, yeah? Which is really ace. Or you can just go straight to your Photos app. So just for argument's sake, I'm going to use this. Let's find an image to throw in. Let's use Pete Johns, just for fun. So I touch on Pete Johns, and now his image has been added to this. So I can move him around, pop him up there. There's the beginning of my banner. And let's make the text kind of work a bit more to be a bit better in size. And just to keep things nice and simple, again, with Pete's image, it's a bit too... I don't want it to be so. It looks a little bit too colourful. I want to flatten it down a bit. You can actually go into your adjustment section down the bottom here and change the saturation. Make it less vibrant. You can change the contrast. So you've got a whole lot of buttons down to change the exposure. You can deaden all these kind of things. And so you've got warmth and fade and highlights. There's a whole lot of little things you can do to change this image. You can crop it. So you can hit a custom crop. And you can change the size of the image. You can do all that kind of stuff, which is really cool. Just go back there. You can add shadows to this as well. You can change the side. You can rotate it if you want. Have Pete upside down. So there's plenty of really easy stuff you can do at your fingertips. I can even blend this. So we'll cover blending. Right at the end here, we have a blend button. And you've got a whole lot of options here. So when I hit this multiply and go through these, they basically will blend the photo in with the background. Just to give you an idea of what that means, if I drag this photo over, see how Pete's underneath? Thank you very much, Kev, for the kind super chat. Thank you very much. You can see in the background Pete's peeking through. Now, why is that? Why is he underneath? Well, I can go to my layers here and I can take Pete underneath. You can move around these layers wherever you want, yeah? Why is he underneath? Well, it's because I've got these blend functions happening. Now, you'll notice as I go through, this one here, it's transparent. So you can do a whole lot of really cool blending of your image when you stack things on top. And experimentation is key. And at any time, I can just move this back here. So this is the start of my YouTube banner. I want to put down the bottom here now, I want to put the address. And I know this is pretty POV, but I'm just being quick, as quick as I can. So I want to add some more text. So this is www. Let's do it all in caps. www. Caps, please. www.youtube.com/Jade and Pete. Fictitious channel. There we go. Hit our plus. Now you'll notice, look how big it is. You can just pinch, stretch that down. And look, I didn't do all caps. So it all looks completely stupid, yeah? So what can I do? I can go into the text style down here and I can actually hit caps and hit all caps and bang, we're all good. But that writing looks shit. It doesn't suit. So again, you can head over to your fonts, scroll through your fonts and find something that looks good. And what's really cool, see that line that keeps popping up when I'm moving this around? Boom, see that? Boom. That's telling me that I'm in the center. So you've got these little reminders that let you know you're centered. So another little cool feature there. I can go in here now and change the color of this to whatever I want. There we go. I can go in and change the shadow if I want as well. We can make this go down a bit, move it across. We can change the color, get red. Super easy to do this stuff, yeah? Super easy to create this. And then at any time, we're keeping it simple, stupid simple today. All I need to do is hit the plus button up here. And before I do that, here's your layers. So you can see clearly what's in this picture. We've got the text, we've got Pete, we've got the logo, the black background, and the beginning palette. And at any time you can move these around any order and put things to the front. But there's my image. And now I want to click the little tick button. And once I do that, you've got this little arrow pointing to left. This is your save button, and you get a whole lot of options. The first one is just save it to your Photos app. It's done. That's in my Photos app. The second one is I can add it to a folder. I can put all my projects into a specific folder. The third one is now that over is now GoDaddy Studio, I can actually click GoDaddy and it will send it to my GoDaddy website. So it's available for me to add to my website on demand. That's a new feature they've added. Or I can hit more and I'm given all these other apps I can open it up in. So if I actually want to open it up in another photo app and work on it a little bit more and do something else to it, say I wanted to put it in a cartoon app and cartoonize it or something, you can send it to whatever other app you like. Or you can just hit open in and open it up in iMovie. You could open it up in LumaFusion. So you can open it up in anything you like and continue working on it there. So that's done. Let's just get out of here for a second. I open up my Photos app. There it is, ready to go. It's all the right dimensions and I can just upload that photo to YouTube. So really easy to make banners and things like that. As I showed you at the beginning, all the templates are there ready for you to get into it, make your templates and all that kind of stuff. The other thing I'm going to cover, and there it is, there's your project. So it saves to your projects page. And at any time, when you want to open it again, open it up. And once again, all your layers are there. So you can go in and change it if you want to update it. And that's how I make my thumbnails each day. So I just use this image here every day. So if I go through my filter, you can see all of the apps that I've used over every episode. So if I've done an episode on LumaFusion and I want to do it again, I can just scroll down and find LumaFusion, or say, so this was the LumaFusion. This is the show that's coming up this week. I can click here and I'm say, I want to do a GarageBand show next. You can see there's GarageBand. I can click on that. I've got, and the opacity's turned off. So if I go to opacity down here, I can turn it up and there's that app. And then I just go back up here, find the LumaFusion one and turn the opacity down and we're good to go. And then I can just change the writing, double click, change the name of the writing. Really easy to update your images and change things. If you want to change your banner on your YouTube channel or your Facebook banner, super easy to go in and edit it at any time you like. So let's disregard these changes for now. I want to just explain a little bit about the subscription so you know what you're getting, yeah? Because it is important, because you do get a hell of a lot for what you're paying for that $10 a month. Up here in the top section, you've got a little icon, your little gear icon, and this tells you everything about your account. Even if you don't have a subscription, it is a great idea to sign up. Use your Facebook to sign in, use your iCloud to sign in, just so in case you want to back up all these files. Right, so if I manage my subscription here, this is what you get for your money, right? A large library of 170 plus fonts. So you get a crap load of fonts. You only get a very basic amount. It's a good amount. It's probably about 30 fonts when you download it for free. 170 plus fonts. Plus, when you pay the subscription, you can import your own fonts. You can go to free font websites, import any font you want. I've probably got about like 700 fonts in here. It's crazy. 20,000 plus graphics, backgrounds, and illustrations that are updated weekly. There's always new stuff. You get easy access to vector shapes, all that kind of shit. Fully licensed stock imagery from Pixabay. So heaps of stock footage, heaps of stock photos. The full category, pretty much, the whole lot of Pixabay included in that. Professionally designed templates. You get to use iCloud Sync. So basically, everything you make in here goes up to the cloud, and you can open it on any device because this works on iPhone, iPad. All right. You can upload logos. You can save your color palettes. We covered that, and you can export PDFs. So that's what you're getting. I mean, I pay for it as it is, and I get my value for it. That's up to you if you think you're going to get the value for it. So yesterday I made a, well, this is Photos Rick. So you'll have to go back. I've explained a heap of stuff, Rick. Welcome to the chat. It's been a pretty information-packed episode today. So much so, my coffee's gone cold. But yeah, as I said, everything you make. So let's just do, see this FMC cover here. I made this yesterday. This is for the upcoming EP I'm going to be doing for Songtember, which is called Community Colostomy Bag. Yeah, Community Colostomy Bag. So this is the mock cover I started working on yesterday just for a bit of fun. How did I make this? Let's break it down for the wrap-up of the show. It's really simple. There's a few things in here. Here's all the layers, right? This is everything that makes it up. So what I'm going to do is go in here. I'm going to hit the opacity and turn everything down. And we'll slowly bring everything back so you can see how I built an album cover. And I did this in about 20 minutes. 20 minutes it took. And there's a mixture of some stock footage, a whole bunch of some things, some logos I've already made, some of the fonts I've imported. I'm just going through and as you can see, I'm turning down the opacity on each thing. So see, everything's down. Click the next thing, turn the opacity, and you can see they're all disappearing, and you'll see exactly where I started with and how I built this thing up. We built this city. Do, do, do. We built this city on rock and roll. And finally, that. So this is how I started. Pretty simple. Just a square background. Right? The first thing I added in here was my FMC logo, which I'd made in a previous project. And there it is there. And there's my FMC logo. It already has, shadows made. And it's already, as you can see, got a transparent background on it. I've saved that as a PNG. So that's just in a folder somewhere that I've dragged in. The next thing I wanted was a colostomy bag. How am I going to get a colostomy bag? Well, here's what's really cool. Here's what's really cool. How to find a colostomy bag. Down the bottom here on images, when you click on images, you're presented with, along the top here, the option to logos, your photos, so you can get to all your photos, any favorites that you have in your photos album. Then you get, when you pay a subscription, Unsplash. So Unsplash is like Pixabay. It's a whole lot of free to use images, and you can type in here whatever you want. I could type in haunted house, and do a search. And bang, we get a whole lot of house images that are able for you to use whenever you want, because you're paying the subscription. These are free to use images. Same with Pixabay. If haunted house, look at that. We've got a whole lot of images for haunted houses that I can use to build up things, yeah? But the last one, this second last one, this is my favorite one. When you type in an image in this Google search, it searches for transparent backgrounds, anything, and see these little checkers behind? That normally means there's a transparency there. I can load some more. And it'll search. See this photo here of this haunted house? This one right here in the middle? See how it's got all those checkers around it? If I click that now, that brings it in and it has no background. So you've got this wonderful haunted house you can add in and then put other photos behind this. Let's just remove that. I'll show you a few. And the scope of search for this is great. Say I want, let's say I want a severed, I'll do a search for a severed hand. Yeah, so they're all PNG files. Look at this. I've got severed hands coming up here. If you scroll down, you'll eventually get one that's there we go. Look at that. So we've got a severed hand right here with a bit of blood on it. So I can click on that. Boom! I've got a severed hand. And I might want some blood to go with that severed hand. So we'll go back, do a search. Let's do blood splatter. Let's do that. Blood splatter. Boom! We've got some blood splatter coming up here as well. So you just got to look for the little checkerboards to make sure it's a transparent PNG. If we do keep searching down, keep hitting more, and more of them will pop up for you. Cool, we got a whole lot of blood splatter happening here. Load some more. I think we'll take one of these top ones. We'll take this top one here, yeah? So I can click on that. Boom, and then I can go in and put this behind the hand. And now I can even shrink this, move it around, make it look like it's coming out the back of the hand. And if I want to remove some of that blood, remember we got this little section over here of masking. So I can actually remove some of this blood. So if I don't want all of it, I can just go in and remove some of it. I might want to remove one of the fingers. So if I choose the hand, I can now go in and just start removing this finger. So you can actually go in and manipulate these photos and remove the backgrounds even further. Really cool, yeah? Use your imagination, folks. You can really do some really ace stuff with this. But we'll get back to my FMC image. We'll remove these stupid little things. So we've got our title. There's our filthy, maggoty cunt title, right? There's no watermarks in the free version. Absolutely not. Hello, Doug. Hello to you. Good to see you. Right, so here's my logo. The next thing I added to this, how did I find that colostomy bag picture? Well, I went to this Google thing and went, colostomy bag. And what do you know? Some transparent images of colostomy bags came up. I'm like, are you shitting me? Fantastic. I got a colostomy bag now. Right? So now, where's the colostomy bag? Here it is. Let's bring this back into the picture. There's my colostomy bag. So here's the start of my album cover, yeah? Right, so what did I need next? I was like, you know what? I want to put some poo splatter. I know this is gross, but it is what it is. You make your album covers, you can do anything you want. I want to make some poo splatter here. I'm sure if I type poo splatter, I'm not going to come up with that. So instead I wrote blood splatter and I just changed it brown. So let's go and find, here it is here. It's this one here. So we'll click on that and bring up the transparency. And what do you know? There's a bit of poo splatter on top of it. But how did I get it to look like? See how you can still see through the stain? Well, that's where you use your blending down here at the last section. And I've selected multiply, because if I didn't have that selected, it would just cover it. But now that I've hit multiply, it kind of makes it a little bit transparent, so you can see the pipe through it. Cool. All right, we've got our poo splatter. How did I change it brown? I'll show you that too. So you've got a tint section down here, and you can actually go in and choose a color. Choose a color and you can change it from red to whatever color you like. So that's really cool. What did I do next? Well, I want to have 4 tubes coming in. So I want to have a tube coming in from each side. And all I could find for PVC tube was this picture here. See this? It's a full, I'll go full screen. It's like a full picture of a looped PVC pipe with, I'll show you, let's do a duplicate of one of them. I'll duplicate one of them. So at any time you can hold down and duplicate these as well. So let me just bring this up and show you what it originally looked like. And we'll give it opacity so you can see it. This was the original picture. We want mask, yeah. That was the original picture. So it had all this in it. But I just went in and removed all of that. So I used the masking tool to go in, and all I wanted was just the one bit of pipe left like that, yeah? That's all I wanted. So now I can go and delete that. Did that delete? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, delete. So let's go back here and I'll show you as we bring in each of these pipes. So I've got 4 pipes. So we'll go with the first one, turn up the opacity. And there's one of the pipes. There it is, coming in from the side. So then I made a copy of this pipe, duplicated it, spun it around a little bit, and moved it up there. So you can just keep duplicating the same thing and hit the rotate button, spin it around if you want, like this. You know, move it around. You can make it upside down. So you've got all these ways to use camera trickery to use the same image to do a whole bunch of different things. So we'll bring in the next few pipes as well. So we've got 4 pipes. There you go. There's our 4 pipes coming in from the side. But I wanted some poo to come out of these pipes. Again, I just took this original splatter here and made duplicates of them. See, here they are, all these duplicates. So we'll start bringing these in now and just shrunk them down a little bit and made them look like they were coming out of the pipe. So we'll bring them all in. I know this is disgusting. So now we've got poo pipes. And see, this one's moved out of place now because I changed that pipe. So I can now move that and line it up to make it look like it's coming out the tube. We'll bring in the last one. Poo pipes. And there's my 4 poo pipes. How cool's that? So we're building up an album cover, and this is the same way you can build up your YouTube banners, your Facebook banners, and you can build this stuff up and pile it all on top of each other and actually create something that is an original piece of art from a whole lot of other people's little pieces of art. Yeah, I call it, Rick, Photoshop super light, super easy to use, yeah? Because, you know, Photoshop on the iPad is a subscription that's really expensive and it's still really complicated for a lot of people. This is super easy to use. It's very lightweight, but it has a lot of power behind it. That's why I love this app. I'll defend it till the day I die. So next I added the name of the album down the bottom, Community Colostomy Bag. Now I looked at that and was like, yeah, that's pretty cool, but it's not bold enough. So how do you instantly make something bolder? You duplicate it. You just hold down on here and hit duplicate, and now you've got 2 of them. And you watch when I bring in the other one. Bang, it's just a little bit of, just brightens it up, just doubles it up a bit, and that's enough. So what am I going to have in the background of this? And I was thinking, I need something really floral, something completely opposite to all this poo stuff. So I did a search. I think I got it from, I did an image search here. I went to Pixabay and wrote like floral pattern. I think that's what I did. Floral pattern. Hit return. And bang, all these little flower things come up. I was like looking for something really super bright and crazy colorful. I'm like, it's probably not going to turn up now. Wherever it is, the one I actually used. Maybe I didn't write pattern. I don't know. But what I ended up... So you can find these images. And the thing is, when you're using these images and you're combining them all together, it's becoming a new picture. It's what's the word? You're deriving a different picture from a whole bunch of little pictures that make something an original piece of artwork. So you're not going to get, anyone saying, oh, you've created something new from a whole bunch of things. Plus, these Pixabay images are free to use because you're paying for the subscription. So let's bring in the final image, which is the flowers. And there you go. Now it looks like a children's album. So that's how quickly I made my album, super quick. Now, when I originally added these flowers, the brightness was way too much. It was crazy bright. I'll just show you this. Let's hit here. And I'm going to get out of this. shut that down. At any time too, you can actually, in your project screen, you can hold down on an image and you can share to a project, add to a folder, or duplicate. So if you don't want to lose, you don't want to fuck up something, you can make a duplicate, because what I'm going to do now, so I'm going to select the background and show you what the original background looked like when I downloaded it, because it was way too crazy colorful. See what I mean? It's way too bright. So I dampened this just to make the rest of the stuff stand out. So look, I just love this app so much. It's so easy to use. As I said, you can export it into another app. Just say you want to work on it somewhere else. So I can export it now. I can hit more and hit open in. Say I want to use it in, let's see. Did I hit open in? Yeah, cool. I want to open this up, say, in Pixelmator. Within seconds, it opens it up in another photo editing app for me to take it a little bit further and use maybe some of the effects in here. Like we'll go to add effects and hit maybe a vintage and really brighten that up and hit apply. I could go in and add something like, adjust the colors. And in here, I could really mess with the colors, change the contrast in here, add some other things. So it's a great starting point. And having that blank transparent image to kick off with is just super, super cool. Anytime, jump back here. So yeah, kicking off again, if I just want to start a new project, we're off, hit a transparent. This time I want to do a Facebook banner, Facebook ad, Facebook cover. I want to do an Instagram story. Nice and ready for you to go for an Instagram story. Now you can just go in and add any images you like. It's totally up to you. I can go into my Photos app. I can search through my photos, find anything. I'm going to add this pizza. Oh, I've got a pizza in there. You can add your text. The other thing is too, I did mention I would just want to cover fonts lastly, because I've gone over time. I don't really need this thing here. Let's talk about text, because as I said, you get a whole bunch of fonts to kick off with, yeah? So, but you can add fonts very easily. There's once you pay your subscription and you click this little arrow down here, you are taken to a whole section of fonts that are just at your disposal. And in each pack, there are hundreds of fonts. So you've got a whole library. You can actually import fonts in here as well. So you can see in my downloaded section, these are all the fonts I've added myself. So I've even got like a whole lot of death metal fonts here, really unreadable fonts. And that's what you get with your $10 a month, So really, really cool for making album covers, banners, t-shirt designs, whatever you want. I can't praise it enough. I love it so much. It's free to download. Have a play with it. See what you think. See if it's worth your time. You can pay monthly. If you're not using it for a month, just stop paying it. You know what I mean? Or you can pay for the year and give it a go. The last thing, very last thing, is with an image. I just love this with this update. If I open a project, I can hit the little arrow up the top here to share this. And here's a little GoDaddy section. I can click this and it sends it to my GoDaddy account. So the next time I open up my website to actually go and change up my website, this image will be sitting there waiting for me just to add to my website. Makes it super easy for someone like me with a GoDaddy account and a website. I just love that they've added this. So, and once again, GoDaddy, they're a big company, and normally when a big company takes over an app that you love, they make changes. They've really changed nothing about this. They haven't upped the price. They haven't done anything like that. All they've done is added the ability to share with your GoDaddy website, which is great. Also, before I do the final goodbyes and stuff, you can use this in a web browser on your Mac or your PC as well. The only thing you can't do is access any of your projects here. They're working on it. They're trying to get it done, but hopefully soon that'll happen. But so you can actually use all these tools in a web browser as well on your PC or your Mac. Lovely, lovely jubbly. I think this is great. I can't praise it enough. There you go. So I'll get off now. I hope this has helped you like spark some ideas. Remember, your brand is important. Making things all look uniformity is important. It makes people remember your logos. Just it's important. It's that extra step you can take to get people to keep coming back to your music, because your music's not enough, man. Your music's definitely not enough. Plus, we're doing another LumaFusion episode this week on how to make a lyric video, right? And you will see I'll be using this in conjunction with LumaFusion, because I make a lot of the stuff in this and share it across straight into LumaFusion. So it works really well with LumaFusion for images and stuff like that, because you've got all these stock images in GoDaddy Studio that you can go and share over into LumaFusion as well. So that's really cool too. Alrighty, it's that time of the day where I'm going to say goodbye to you all. I want to thank you all for being here. If you want to hit like, that's up to you. Helps the channel, I think, something like that. If you want to hit dislike as well, hit that, but hit it at least an even amount of times. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Just make sure you hit it an even amount of times. I want to thank you all for being here. I love all of you. Thank you for supporting my show every day. I hope you've got something out of this. Tomorrow I'm looking at the GarageBand update packs, and then we're looking at LumaFusion. Got a whole lot of cool stuff coming up for the next week and stuff and all that jazz. And what would be an episode without saying goodbye to you all? Romper, bomper, stomper, boo. Tell me, do. Magic mirror, tell me today, have all my friends had fun at play? I can see Rick Lisk. I can see Jim Shannon on sounds. I can see Cy Effen and Kim Harden Hudson. And I can see Joe and happy birthday, Joe. And I can see Adam Burst Music. Thanks for being here, Adam. And Russ. I love my magic mirror. It makes me so happy. Take care, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.